When the time comes to make business succession plans, most private businesses will use one of three options. Pass ownership to a family member. Sell the business, maybe to a competitor, a strategic buyer, or even private equity. Or, sadly, often just close the business down and sell off the parts. But there's also a fourth option that's gaining a lot of attention lately. Forming an ESOP and selling the business to your employees. In this episode, we discuss the structure of an ESOP.
As an employee-owned company, it's easy to understand the value of employee ownership. But we've assembled a group of professionals here today who are going to talk about why, how, and what you should do to set up your ESOP. One of the things about ESOPs is that there's a process. I'm going to start with you, Tim. What's the process for setting up an ESOP?
So in the pyramid here, at the top, you have the ESOP as the shareholder. Underneath that, you have what that ESOP owns, which is the sponsor corporation. Underneath that, you have the board of directors of the corporation who have the legal responsibility to determine the policy and the funding and the business plan of the corporation. Underneath that, you have the executives who are appointed by the board of directors. And underneath that, you have the employee owners. So that is the structure.
The beauty in the ESOP lies in the flexibility of the structure. There's so much you can do with an ESOP. You know, it's not cookie cutter. Every company structure is set up and designed to the needs of that business owner and of the company.
How do I understand the structure?
Sure. You're the seller. You sell your stock. You sell it to the ESOP. The ESOP borrows the money, or the company borrows the money to pay you. And then the loan gets paid off with the company's own money, except on a tax-advantaged basis going forward. As the loan gets paid off, then the stock goes into the employee's account, not before.
So unlike a traditional retirement, a 401k or other plan, employee money is not going into the ESOP, only company money is going in. And unlike another kind of retirement plan, instead of using the contributions to pay for outside shares, what we're doing is we're taking the company contributions and using them to fund the purchase of shares from you.
But the processes of setting up a financing as simple as going to a bank and asking for a loan. The bank loans the money to the company lends the money to the trust, and the trust transacts with the selling shareholder. So day one, you have two loans in place. So one loan between the bank and the company, and the other between the company and the ESOP.
Explain that a little bit. What's the trust?
The trust is so that the shares themselves and the administration of those shares is in the hands of somebody who has a fiduciary duty. And what that means is that they can't just make decisions that are for anybody's benefit except the benefit of the employee participant, just like a trustee of an estate.
Are there companies that are more strategically positioned to be an ESOP than others?
I think a lot of companies are a good candidate for an ESOP and employee ownership. I think starts with motivation, you follow with quality advisors and diligent process, but I think there's many companies in every sector, from beer companies to construction to architectural and engineering to retail, so really it is a pretty successful model.
Find an advisor that you're comfortable with and ask them to help design a more detailed plan that takes these simple concepts of the ESOP and an employee buyout and the very complicated tax and structural things and pulling it all together into some sort of organized plan to do what really was that simple task. How do employees get money together to buy stock from you?
If you want to learn more about forming an ESOP, please contact the local chapter of the ESOP Association and consider attending a conference or event.